recently got the chance to watch Poor Things in theaters, which is the latest feature film by director Yorgos Lanthimos, and I have to admit that I did enjoy it quite a bit. The story is about a young woman named Bella who has been brought back to life by an extraordinarily unorthodox scientist. When Bella runs off with a lawyer on a whirlwind adventure across the continents, she becomes ever more free and grows steadfast in her purpose to stand for equality and liberation. Now, it should be noted that I am not the biggest fan of Yorgos Lanthimos because his movies all have a weird and off-kilter quality to them, so I didn't really expect to like this movie either, and yet I couldn't help but to enjoy this quirky little film. I found it to be funny and playful and mature and thought-provoking all at the same time, which means that for the second time in a row, I did happen to be on the same wavelength as Lanthimos. But I will admit that The Favorite is an easier watch in comparison to something like Poor Things, because, especially given the subject matter, I don't think this movie is going to be for everyone. There are plenty of story beats that could very much unsettle or upset or simply offend some viewers, but I didn't mind these elements. I mean, is it weird that the movie has a lot of sexual content in it, especially when its main character, despite having the body of a fully grown woman, has the brain of a toddler? Well, sure, but thematically, it allows the film to tell a coming-of-age tale that stands out from any other. Because as Bella's sexuality changes over the course of the film, we bear witness to her literal growth and maturity as a person. So her sexual desires act as a metaphorical depiction of adolescence in general. As the story unravels, Bella becomes less and less of a naive and idealistic child. Her intellect and philosophical development grows over time, allowing her to see the social inequalities and injustices of her time. So the film is literally about the loss of innocence, and what better way to depict the loss of innocence than to focus on acts of sexuality and perversion. But Poor Things is about so much more than just feminism and sexual liberation. It also has a lot to say about identity, scientific hubris, personal freedom, memory, and relationships, on top of being an absurd reworking of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. And I thought those were some powerfully strong themes for this film to explore. Thankfully, those themes were easy to digest thanks to the absurdist nature of the film. Because, again, this is a wild and weird kind of movie. But while some people may take issue with the tone or the subject matter of Poor Things, my biggest complaint probably comes from the runtime. Because at nearly 2.5 hours long, I definitely think that the movie runs a little longer than necessary. The last 20 minutes or so in particular felt really forced and tacked on. So the movie didn't end on the strongest note in my opinion, but the finale didn't ruin my enjoyment of the film overall. Because when I think about the movie as a whole, I personally think about how entertaining the performances were. Everyone in this cast is good, and since everyone was clearly having a fun time on set, their performances helped the movie itself feel fun and playful, even in spite of the heavier themes that were present in the narrative. Willem Dafoe is especially fun as a mad scientist, but Emma Stone is clearly the standout performer here. Being able to showcase a wide range of complex emotions, Stone may have delivered her best performance ever here, and I'm a huge fan of the actress, so that is clearly saying something. But while Emma Stone is fantastic here, it's especially fun to watch her character develop and mature as all of the men around her, particularly Mark Ruffalo's character, descend into madness and generally devolve into becoming more childlike with age. That juxtaposition was just really fun to watch and completely in line with the rest of the movie's themes. So if you can get past the inherently odd and bizarre nature of director Yorgos Lanthimos, then I think you can enjoy this movie like I did. Because I thought Poor Things was a funny and creative little movie. I enjoyed the strange performances, the strong themes, and the imaginative story about Bella's journey of self-discovery, which means that Poor Things would definitely get a recommendation from me.